It's been raining and windy and cold for the last week, so I have hardly been out here. Today is not really supposed to rain too much, so I'm going to try and get some things done so that I can actually make a video for this week. Um, I'm going to go ahead and take the seaweed from this composting bin and consolidate it over into this bin right here. So then we'll have more space for seaweed because Tyler and I just went out to the shore a couple days ago, and there's quite a bit of seaweed that has blown up with all this wind up onto the beach, and so we're probably going to start getting some seaweed. But don't worry, this video today will not be 10 minutes of me shoveling seaweed. Oh my gosh, my little buddy the deer. Anyway, the wind totally blew down my sugar snap peas, but they got a bunch of that. It looks like it's a blight or whatever on them. Something's been eating my spinach. I've been thinking about making some pesto. This is a story. So earlier in the spring, when those migrating birds, the golden crown sparrows, came in, they were eating my little baby sugar snap peas and scratching around my beds that I just seeded. Potato Peter, who lives down the south end of Wrangell Island, which is kind of off grid, he said, hey, I've got this motion sensor thing that shoots water that can, scare off pests, and I can trade it for you because I can't use it because I don't have enough water pressure. I could trade you for some bunch of basil. I said, hey, later on I'm gonna have a crap ton of basil, so yeah, that sounds great. I now have a crap ton of basil. I said, hey Peter, you want some basil? And he said, no, I've been working for Breakaway all summer long. I don't have time. Maybe you trade me some sugar snap peas, but then of course my sugar snap peas have this blight thing or whatever. So I said, hey, what about if I made some pesto and traded you for that? And he said, great. And I said, are there any ingredients you don't like? And he said, no, pesto's the besto. And so I said, okay. The other thing is, he said, I've got all this garlic, so he hasn't been able to get down to his place to get his garlic out in time, so it had popped open, and that means you can't store it very well. And so he said, I can give you a bunch of garlic for the pesto. And I'm like, well, hey, wait a second, let's just try a batch first, because last year I tried to make pesto and I was really super lazy, and so I just threw all the ingredients into my NutriBullet and just blended it up. Then I put it onto some pasta and gave it to Tyler, and he was like, this is like snot sauce. This is disgusting, because it actually didn't taste that bad, but the consistency was really gross, right? So you really need to chop it up. So this is my plan. Like, I'm thinking, okay, we got a week of rainy weather. I'm stuck in there, cabin fever. I really just need to make some pesto, but I never did get around to it, so I really got to do it. This is progress so far. Started raining lightly, and then no seams came out, and they're biting my ass. So you get down a little ways, and it's just partially composted seaweed in the center especially, and then you got kind of more broken down gack on the edges, and it smells delicious. Had to get geared up for the no-see-ums. Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm not gonna call these composting bins anymore. Call them seaweed storage bins. Anaerobically composting, because this stuff is so dense. Raking up the neighborhood for sure. I've never been one to turn compost because it's just such a waste of time, it seems like. I just want a place where I can, probably just need a place where I can stick seaweed, pile it up. Next year, pile up seaweed next to that. Next year, pile seaweed up next to that. And then when it's finally composted, just start working on digging out fully composted stuff from the first pile. But yeah, this program is not the most efficient. The whole fan family. The whole fan family is here. Hello. Hi everybody. I have this grossest rotted seaweed on my hands. Hi guys. Okay, the bin's empty. And this bin is almost full, whatever. And my little dear friend is hanging out on the beach in the rain. Yeah, I got that job done. It's raining, the sun came out. It can't decide what to do. But tomorrow is supposed to rain over an inch, so maybe I'll stay inside and make some pesto. On the day that the store opened for the week, the sun came out and I cleaned up my herb patch. The inside of the greenhouse was still kind of humid, so I only cut bunches of basil and didn't bring any bags of basil. I also harvested some green onions. I had some Italian parsley, curly parsley, and some dill. I also cut back my raggedy beds of spinach. Not enough to take to the store or anything, just enough for salads for us. I'm sitting down on a rock, eating some little seaweed snack things. This packaging is horrible. As I sold everything except for a couple bunches of parsley and one bunch of basil. So I had said on Facebook that I was going to bring in some bags of basil once things dried out. So maybe this afternoon I'll bag some things up, or maybe I'll get them in tomorrow. This is where all the little tour businesses are down here by the dock. That's the Stikine Inn. There's no big cruise ship in town today. We've had a ton of them this year. Normally be docked right here. There's a little cruise ship right out there anchored or something. Our town has been taken over by tourists. Do, 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 do. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I think they're coming in here and dropping passengers off at the dock. Man, everything's just so wet. I'm hoping things dry out today now the sun's finally come out. Condensation. The leaves are drying out. That's good. The skunk cabbage is starting to die back pretty good. See, all the edges are turning brown. So I tried to make a little sample of pesto the other day, just a little bit, so I wouldn't waste a ton of ingredients. And it actually tasted all right. It just, I had chopped up the nuts, and I think actually it would be better I blended. I chopped up the basil, I chopped up the garlic, and I think that's good, but I think I need to blend up the nuts. I'm harvesting a couple of bags of basil for Michelle at Taste of Asia. For a while there, it seemed like she was only needing like a bag a week, or a bag every other week actually, because she was gone a lot. But last week she needed 2 full 6-ounce bags of basil, and this week she needs another 2 bags. Man, I've got slugs getting into this, and I just have been so bad. I haven't come out at night to find them, and they're just, you know, causing a lot of damage. This morning I took another 4 little bags, 4 1-ounce bags and 2 3-ounce bags to Twisted Root Market. And my thinking is if they don't sell, I will make pesto. Everything else is sold at the store when I checked today, except for a couple of bunches of curly parsley. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, slug business. Tyler and I are going to go up the river this afternoon and camp. The weather is just going to continue to get you know, we're just not going to have as much nice weather typically at this time of year, so we're going to just take advantage of being able to get out as much as we can. Thursday night, we went camping on the Stickeen River. It's gorgioso here. Boat gets to be the main character. And then Saturday morning, I went up with a bunch of other people to Farragut Farm, which is north of Petersburg on the mainland.